Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Kenny's crazy crack house for collectibles. Now, today we've got the March and April updates, Steelbooks, comic books, and a couple of other bits and pieces. And for 4.5 years I've been doing these videos. This is actually the first day I've ever done two in one day, so something of a first for me. So if I run out of voice, you'll know why. Right, okay, pickups. We'll start off, traditionally we start off with the games. Okay, now these Steelbook pickups haven't been immense for the last couple of months, but I haven't really seen much out and about worth getting at the right price. Anyway, this one we did get. Now, I don't think this one is quite complete because I think there should be a cardboard cover with it, you know, just to show which machine it's for. Now, this is an empty case. So this one obviously came separate from the game. It was given to me by some of my friends at Game. So thank you to them for that. Likewise with this one. I presume that should have some sort of case with it as well, but when you get them free, you don't argue. I like the back cover best. Why in heaven's name didn't they use that for the front cover? Mysterious. I mean, I understand why they didn't use the Just Cause one. So that's very bland, but yeah, I like that. That's cool. So that was those. This one's quite interesting. I don't buy Japanesey type RPG games because I detest and hate them with a passion. But I saw this knocking about in Kex and I thought, I like the look of that. And the reason I like the look of it is because it's slightly different to your normal Steelbook. In fact, it's not a Steelbook at all. It's a steel cover. There's the game inside, but it's like a little case. But I was so impressed by the artwork, which is absolutely gorgeous, I decided to buy it. It's got the game in it as well. So yeah, I was quite pleased with that one. I mean, it was about 20 quid or something, but I thought, well, I haven't seen it around too often, and it is a particularly nice looking thing, so yeah, we'll add that one to the collection. So there we go. So that was about it on the game Steelbook front. I did, however, start to beef up my VR collection, and I picked up a few of these for a tenner each, which I don't think is bad. They're all in fairly minty condition. So yeah, that one is the Impatient. The Persistence. You notice all of these are VR required, so they are sort of games that were made specifically for the VR helmet, rather than some games which say PlayStation VR compatible, which means you can play them excuse me, you can play them normally, but there are some parts of the game that require the headset. Gran Turismo Sport being a prime example. Then there was Time Carnage. So I picked these up because I've been neglecting my VR games. I mean, I'm aiming to get every physical game. I mean, a lot of games that I've got are only sort of like downloadable from PSN, and then again I only get them when they're in a sale. So I've got quite a lot of games, but not many. I've got less than 20 physical games, so I thought we'd just beef up the collection a little bit, and that was the other one. And it's supposed to be quite good actually, sort of like flying through Paris from the perspective of an eagle. Sounds quite interesting. I like VR. It's I wish I had more time to play it, but it's a really good innovation actually. Now, as far as the movie Steelbooks are concerned, there's the third series. I've got the second series. I haven't got series 1 yet because I haven't seen it at the right price, but that was only 12 quid, which, you know, is quite good for a Doctor Who Steelbook. It has the episodes and a lot of bonus features on it, so excuse me. I just got this one a week or so ago. It's the 40th anniversary of Alien. I've already got a Steelbook for Alien, but I couldn't let that go by because A, it's a nice Steelbook, and B, it's 40th anniversary, and C, it has a very nice back cover. Because I'm always banging on about bland and dodgy back covers, but can't complain. In fact, I like the back cover more than I do the front. But yeah, that was a Zavvi special. I thought I'd splash out and treat myself to a brand new copy of that, as opposed to this one, which was second hand, but it's not in bad nick. It was only 8 quid in Kex, and I thought, I mean, the film was okay. I didn't think it was particularly brilliant, but it was a half decent film. The reason I picked it up is because it sold out, I think, pre-order on Zavvi, or certainly it sold out very, very soon after it was released. And it's reasonably expensive to pick up now. And when I saw that for 8 quid, I thought, yep, why not? And then that one came just a couple of weeks ago. That's the original Riddick film, Pitch Black. As far as I remember, it was never marketed as a Chronicles of Riddick film, but since the other two did reasonably well, they decided to brand this as the Chronicles of Riddick Part 1. So that's another Zavvi limited edition, and it was only 15 quid brand new. So I thought, yeah, I actually watched it again, and it didn't seem quite as good as it did when I went to see it at the cinema. But it's not a bad film by any means. And then that's the Aquaman 4K version. Well, it's the only version you can get in Steelbook, as far as I know. It's got the regular 3D version in there. But yeah, as I said in the past, I don't buy 4K Steelbooks apart from Marvel and DC and anything that I really can't do without. But because I mean these are getting silly prices now. I don't have 4K, so don't have a telly. Well, don't have a telly or a player. Yeah, I mean that was a thick end of. I forget whether it was 30 quid or 25. I think maybe 25, which is probably why I didn't and ah too much about buying it, because most of the Marvel and DC films were about that for the ordinary 3D version. So yeah, I thought I would pick that one up because I tend to collect all the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Cinematic Universe Steelbooks. And then I was quite pleased to pick these up. Those of you who've been following the videos that I do will know that I did a couple of videos on lenticular slipcases, which proved to be fairly popular. And in actual fact, I'm getting fairly close to a full set now, because they don't do them anymore. They used to do them for all the 3D films. In fact, it used to irk me because I used to have to buy the Steelbook, and if it was a good film, and then I would have to buy the 3D lenticular because I collect lenticulars, so it used to work out quite pricey. But yeah, that was that's the ordinary 3D version of Battle of the Five Armies. Got a lot of stuff on it, but so it's one of the few lenticulars I don't have, so it was necessary. It was only £6, so I thought that was very reasonable. And then the final one of the Hobbit set that I didn't have was the Desolation of Smaug, but that's the extended 3D edition. I mean, I've actually got, as ridiculous as it may sound, I've actually got 3 copies each of the Hobbit films. I've got the Steelbook, I've got the 3D lenticular, and I've got the 3D extended edition lenticular. So there you go. Just shows you what a mad bunch us collectors are. I might be the only one, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only mad one. But nevertheless, I had to buy it because, as I say, it's one of the few lenticulars that I don't have now. As I say, that they've virtually become a thing of the past now, lenticular covers, because everything's 4K. And I don't think I've seen any 4K lenticulars, so it's a good thing in a way because it means that I can probably concentrate now on getting a full set of UK PAL lenticulars, which is good. Right, now I picked this up simply because it's Marvel and Thanos related. It's the first day covers of the Marvel stamps that they brought out recently. My wife very kindly bought it for me as a present, and the reason I like it is because as a Thanos fan, it has somewhere. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a separate little thing, and it's got a little poster of my very favourite Marvel character, Mr. Thanos. So yeah, that was just something a bit different, but so I didn't buy it. I can't get it back together again, so we'll just toss it to one side and worry about it later on. Okie dokie. Now, so we're back to, I think the rest of the stuff I've got to show you is comic related, so we'll zip through those. Just picked that up on Friday. That's the penultimate issue of Heroes in Crisis. Now, this has been a weird series. I mean, I started off and it seemed okay. First 3 issues seemed fairly straightforward, with a lot of the younger DC heroes being killed, murdered. In fact, they thought, and then it got a bit weird. And the last couple of issues have been awfully strange. In fact, they hurt my head. I couldn't get my head around them. And this one goes a little way towards explaining what went on. I'm not fully up to date with it, but some of the explanations were a bit too wild for me. But yeah, there's another issue to go, so hopefully it'll all end happily. These I picked up from my local. I think I mentioned before we have a local shop in a shopping centre near me, which is a remaindered bookshop, and they actually do Marvel books that have been remaindered. You know, they've got the little black mark, you might have seen them with a little black dot on them, which means that they haven't sold, and they've been sent back to the publisher, and then the publisher sends them out so people can sell them cheap. These 3 I'm going to show you are only £1 each. I think they're all sort of like $20 books, so it'll cost you about £15. Although Amazon would probably let you have them a bit cheaper than that. And then there was that New Avengers. I say for £1 each. I certainly wasn't gonna. One of my least popular super groups, but as I say, for £1, I'll both buy it and possibly read it at some point. Make a bit of room here. So that was them for £1 each. Now, this here is something I've been wanting to buy for weeks and weeks. It's my very favourite Marvel comics book creator. I used to love all the old Captain Marvel stuff he did where Thanos, was introduced as a major villain. And I used to love all the Warlock, if you remember him, stuff he did, and all of his cosmic stuff. It's been great. This has been sitting in my local Forbidden Planet for the last 6 months. I don't know. Seems like that. And I thought, should I buy it? Should I not? 45 quid. And then I had the right idea of looking on Amazon, and lo and behold, they had a brand new copy for 27. So I thought, I'll have some of that. It's basically just images, The Death of Captain Marvel, the famous graphic novel. It's just comic book images, mainly covers, a little bit of internal art, some original art, but it's got a narrative running through it as well, which Jim Starlin did, and it's a great insight into the mechanisms of the comic industry in the 70s and 80s. It really is a fascinating read. I sat and read it through in a couple of sessions. Looked at all the artwork and admired that, and just read the sort of semi-autobiographical pieces that were in there, and it was great fun because I'm a child of the 60s, 70s, and 80s when it comes to comics, and if you like Jim Starlin in any shape or form, I would advise you to buy that because it's a great book. Right, here's a few more. The remainder shop that I use for my Marvels. Decided to get a few new ones in, so I picked. I've read that one. Artwork in that is horrible, by the way. It's the Collecting Uncanny X-Men 15 to 20. It's the Avengers versus X-Men storyline. There's a load of these different story arcs. To say the artwork's horrible, but it was quite cheap. So excuse me, I'm going to have maybe doing 2 vids in one day. It's too much for my ailing old voice. In fact, we're going all together now, so we'll try and get it back again. Right, that was an original graphic novel that they did. I've read that as well, quite good, that one. The Rage of Ultron. To say it's original, so it wasn't actually printed as a comic book series. I remember seeing the comic books for these when I used to go to comic marts, and this is the hardback collection of Avengers. It just basically covers the history of some of the maybe sort of like second-rate Marvel characters, not the top liners like Iron Man and all of them. This is like the B-listers, Scarlet Witch and Luke Cage and people like this. Although I see Thor's there, so you couldn't call him a B-lister. But yeah, it's just a bunch of comic books that introduced these characters and told you a bit about them in a story, and they bunged that all in one edition. Now, I was delighted to see that this remaindered bookshop of mine that I go to finally started getting some DC stuff in. So, I mean, this stuff I'm showing you is only about sort of like 5 or 6 quid each, and, they're all sort of like $25 books, so 20 quid, probably on Amazon, cheaper than that, but even so, you're not going to get them much cheaper than 15 quid. So, 5 a lump. Sinestro, that's the new 52 Green Lantern, this one. Volume 1 dealt with my old mate Sinestro. I mean, I'm a big fan of Green Lantern. In the comic books, the film was rubbish. And the depiction of him, Mark Strong as Sinestro, just wasn't the deal at all. So I'll be reading that very shortly. And then there was the 3rd volume. I've got volumes 1 and 2. So So I was pleased to pick up the third volume for a £5. And the reason I picked these up mainly is for the J. Lee artwork. I think he did one. This one covers issues Superman, Batman issues 10 to 15. I think J. Lee does one issue in here, but the other two that I've got his covers as well, and he's done more issues. So yeah, I really like that series. I haven't actually got around to reading it yet, but I'm a big fan of J. Lee, and I was pleased to pick that up. Now, I actually read this, but I haven't got the hardcover. Secret Empire. This is where Cap goes all Hydra, and it's all to do with the Tesseract, which I like to call the Cosmic Cube, because that's what they called it in the old days. But of course, Marvel, in their wisdom, changed it to the Tesseract. I mean, Cosmic Cube sounds great, and it Tesseract, not so much. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's quite a good read, actually. So it was only a tenner. And it's it's a $60 book, so even on Amazon, it's going to set you back about 25. So a tenner, it was quite, or was it 15? Might have been 15, being a $60 book, yeah. But even at 15, I was quite happy. It was all sealed up and brand new. And a couple that I've got stuck in with that was the previous Heroes in Crisis, which I will have got in March. That was the one that had me scratching my head. So I won't say too much about that. And then couldn't possibly not talk about this. Now, Detective Comics 1000, of course, famously, Detective Comics 27 was the first comic of the Golden Age. I think it just beat Action Comics, which started Superman. I think I've got my history right. I think it was the very first, and it, of course, it introduced the Batman. I mean, Detective Comics had been going for a while before the Batman became a feature in it, and Batman actually debuted in issue 27, and this is the 1000th issue. Now, weirdly enough, although Action Comics came just after, it reached 1000 before, although it would do, because even though, Action Comics actually came a lot later than because Detective 1 actually came quite a long time before Batman was introduced. So, and then Action Comics actually made it to 1000 issues before. It sounds a bit complicated, but I assume that Action Comics must have been at a time when there were more issues. Maybe it went sort of like bi-monthly or something, and it reached 1000 earlier. But anyway, they did several variant covers for Detective Comics 1000. Now, this is actually my favourite cover. It's the 1930s rendition by Steve Rude, who's another one of my favourite artists. And of course, it shows Batman in his original helmet with the big pointy ears, which I love. I wish they'd stick them back on him, because he looked absolutely mint in those old early Detective Comics when he first came out. And that was, as I say, there's about 10 or so variants, might be even more. But I decided to pick up that one because I thought it was the best. I was thinking of getting the Steranko one. When I heard there was a Steranko cover, I thought, that would be good, but actually it's not that great at all. So I'm pleased I bought that one. Then we come down to the last couple here. That was a Forbidden Planet special, I think, just about a tenner or so. Icons, Jim Lee, got all of his work. Just mainly a few covers and mainly internal artwork and stuff. But it's a £25 book, and so I bought it for £10. So I was quite happy with this one. And then, last but not least, there's there's this. I don't know if many of you will be familiar with Jeff Darrow. It's called can't see it. Lead Poison in the Pencil Art of Jeff Darrow. His artwork is very, very. That's the. There's a signed little card you get inside it, but his artwork is very meticulous. I mean, the detail is detail's quite phenomenal. I'll just get rid of my face and show you. I mean, you can even see from the cover there, you know, that the level of detail of his artwork. And yeah, I mean, I've got a book of his called Hard Boiled, which I think Frank Miller had something to do with it as well. But yeah, I mean, that was a signed limited edition, which I can't remember how much it was, but it was cheap for a signed limited edition. So that was the regular stuff. Now, last but not least, every so often, as a collector, you come across something. I mean, you know, when you've been at it as long as me, it's hard to impress me, quite frankly, these days. But every so often you come across something which you just go, wow. And I'll show you something now which made me go, wow. And I mean, wow. It's very heavy, so I'm going to have to manhandle it very carefully. I'll got it round the wrong way, which is, I can get you to see it, it's the, whoa, you need to be Charles Atlas to pick this goddamn thing up. Right, it's XMen, the Adamantium collection. It's, as you can see, it's slip-cased. God, I'm out of breath already. And what it is it's a collection of some of the more famous X-Men stories, like X-Men 1's in there. The Days of Future Past, I think, yeah, Days of Future Past, X-Men, where they go back and find that the Sentinels have taken over everything. I think that was the storyline. Anyway, that's your book, and I mean, it is massive. I mean, I don't know how many issues are in here. It's quite a few. Yeah, it looks to be, I would say there's about 20 comics in there, but I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. If you like me, you know, and you love slipcased hardbacks, it's just an absolutely gorgeous thing. Unfortunately, I can't pick it up and show you any interiors because A, it might break the spine, and B, it'll give me a triple hernia. So just take my word for it when I say it's a magnificent volume. It actually comes in a large box which has that artwork on it, and you could quite easily use it as a piece of 3D artwork if you wanted, you know, on a coffee table or something. It's massive. It's even bigger than the slipcase there. Yeah, I mean, it was the reason I was impressed, not only because of what it is, but also because it was 160 quid RRP when it came out. There again, you know, Amazon will get you it cheaper, but I actually paid 45 quid for it. I couldn't believe that. Just couldn't believe it at all. So it was one of those, you know, those rare days for a collector where he thinks, what? 45 quid for that? You're joking. So anyway, that was my great pleasure of March and April. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, once again, thank you very much, all of you, for watching. I'll have something coming up very shortly, in the next week or so, hopefully. So, anyway, keep your eyes peeled and keep subscribing, and thanks a lot for watching once again. Bye-bye for now.